NBC News has uncovered concerning details about some of the claims the Trump administration is making in its immigration case against Palestinian activist Mahmoud Khalil. Now, he's the Columbia University grad student who was arrested last month. He's facing deportation after playing a key role in pro-Palestinian protests on campus last year. After reviewing more than 100 pages of documents from the case, NBC News found that in some instances, the government appears to be relying on unverified tabloid articles as evidence against him. This revelation comes just a couple days after a judge cleared the way for Khalil, a U.S. permanent resident, to be deported on the grounds that his beliefs are allegedly a threat to national security. Chloe Atkins is an investigative reporter with the NBC News National Security and Law Unit. She joins us now, along with NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas, sticking around to help us break down this case. Chloe, let's start with your reporting. What documents were you looking at here, and what did you find that is raising some red flags?
So the evidence that I reviewed in the last 48 hours, it really gave us some crucial insight into the evidence that the government is using against Khalil and his deportation case taking place in Louisiana. And of course, as it relates to Khalil being a national security threat, we all know about Secretary of State Marco Rubio's memo that said that his activities were anti-Semitic and that his presence in the U.S. is a threat to foreign policy. But in the new evidence that I reviewed, it looks at the second ground of removal, which is that he allegedly omitted certain work experience from his permanent residency application. So in doing so, they relied on heavily unverified tabloid articles and a super shaky timeline. So in one instance, they looked at several articles from the New York Post that said he held a certain title at a nonprofit, when in fact he was actually an intern and received student credit, or class credit, I should say, with Columbia University, which was included in his application to the government. And in another instance, we've really seen the government hone in that he didn't include his being involved in the protest movements on Columbia University in his permanent residency application, when in fact those tabloid articles that they're relying on were published in April 2024, which was a month after he filed his application with the government. And so, Joe, what we are seeing here is we are seeing evidence that is being put forward that is easily disproven by simply looking back at Khalil's past work contracts, as well as letters from Columbia University verifying that he received class credit. And so that is really the big takeaway here, Joe.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.